Moving on, we got Devin.
They all been waiting for, Sean.
We got Devin. I know the kid wants to go by Debo now.
Debo Dev.
Debo Dev.
That's real.
Debo
That's a
Dev.
real thing.
I guess I've been hearing them say that throughout the whole fight.
Debo
The fight
Dev
week.
now.
You're in his weight class, so maybe you're not.
I knew he was gonna do that.
Did he Debo?
I didn't think he was gonna drop him though.
You know who didn't know he was gonna beat him? This guy over here, Sean.
But you know who tried to tell me on the record that he was gonna beat him was Bruce.
Me.
Bruce tried to tell me. He got the interview up. Bruce retweeted it. Bruce stood on it. He was like,
No, I ain't gonna lie though. Like I had Devin doing that. Like literally, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah, same.
Like
You had him out boxing him.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to clip him in that second round.
Yeah,
but,
but I don't think anybody did.
Yeah,
Let's keep it
but
honest. Let's keep it.
We did.
Even in picking Norman, I said
You thought he was gonna clip him?
I said on our breakdown, even in picking Norman, I wouldn't be surprised if he drops Norman early.
What?
Because Norman showed that his chin is shaky early in fights. But here's what I didn't know. I thought maybe Norman could be a guy like Tito or Marquez in that you drop them early, but then once they get their feet underneath them, they take punches better.
Yeah.
But that never happened for Norman. Anytime Devin touched him with some, even the jabs were.
It seemed like I peeped that.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy though? Like I had Devin outboxing him. You know.
All the smart fighters did. All the fighters did. But Vegas had it 50-50.
Crazy.
It was 50-50. Yeah,
I didn't think it was 50-50.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was 50-50.
For
Like
sure had it
I always said, and I even did a interview on the Inside the Ring podcast as well. Like I told him, it all depends on what Dev does. He is basically the person that controls the fight. If he goes in and being aggressive, he's in control of that. If he's gonna box, he's in control of that because of his footwork. If you look at Devin, bro, and especially the first 6 rounds, his feet are always active. That back foot is always up, and then it kind of like it twitches so much to where Brian Norman, it kept him on edge. He didn't know if he's gonna jump forward,
He's
jump
always
back.
threatening with the positioning,
He's threatening.
right? It's like
You know
it's
what
an
I'm saying?
invisible line. If you cross this line,
Yes, bro. It's
That's exactly
very
what
threatening.
happened.
It's very threatening.
He kept Norman hesitant.
Yes,
you know what
bro.
I mean? You feel me?
Yes.
Because Dev was real twitchy and was just moving. You feel me? He wasn't even throwing stuff half the time, but he had that twitch.
the threat of.
You feel me?
I got you lined up.
Yeah.
That's that mental exhaustion.
I just looked at it right here. Sean and I, we did a preview of this fight. We broke this fight down. We broke this. Take your hood off, man. Be a man.
Yeah.
We broke this fight down top to bottom.
Yeah.
We literally told y'all everything that could happen in this fight.
Not the check hook. We didn't think that he would hook with the hooker. Brian Norman's his powers coming into this was supposed to be his timing and his left hook. I didn't know he was gonna time him and hook with him and almost knock him out.
Now that could be my fault because something that we did not speak on about Dev is his check hook. That's one of his.
I just think he had a check hook and a lead hook, but I didn't know he could. I didn't think he would hook with the hooker. And
right. That's one of his escape routes.
Right.
One of his escape routes is to check with the hook and turn. That's baseline. That's a part of his nature. That's a part of what he does. We said everything that could possibly happen in this fight. And practically everything that we said could happen to this fight, it did happen. It just so happened to happen for the fighter that we didn't think would pull it all together. So kudos to Dev. Kudos to the team for getting yourself back together.
Yeah, that's facts.
Because coming off of a fight where you look like you were out of your mind, coming into the middle of the ring every single round against Ryan Garcia, we understand the whole PED situation. You fought the wrong fight. Then you come back, and I said, this is what I said. I said, this fight looked like it was a reset button. It looked like that fight against Jose Ramirez. It looked like a fight where they just said, we're going to reset. We're going to go all the way back to who we used to be in the amateurs. We're going to move. We're going to bounce. We're going to play it safe, do what we do. And I thought, coming off to that fight, that we'll be better on the next one. Between that fight and before this fight happens, I said, I don't think we're gonna be able to get it again. I said, but I'm the one that after that fight said that just was the reset button. What happened was I'm hearing that he was doing things in the fight against Jose that wasn't being told to him in training camp and wasn't being told to him in the fight, which made me think, okay, well, you've lost something mentally. I felt like mentally you might not be who you used to be. He came out and he proved that he is.
Right. against a dude that's like very dangerous. And
He was the number 1 ranked welterweight by ring.
bro.
And this is why I say we weren't wrong. This is why I say I wasn't wrong.
No, I was wrong.
Flat out.
Hey, man, I appreciate the honesty, bro.
But flat out, there's things that we just don't know.
Facts, yeah. You're not there day to day in training camps and
There's
all
things
of
that we just don't know.
Personally.
And we said that if Dev does drop him, it's gonna happen in the first 2 rounds. And I said it's gonna happen in the first 2 rounds because Norman strikes me as the kind of guy that just really needs to get in that water. He's the kind of guy that as the fight starts, he's tiptoeing into the water, trying to get acclimated. He's not like me, just gonna jump in the water and boom, whatever happens. That's who I was. I'm in the fire. Let's go. He's not that kind of guy. He actually needs to get in the water and tiptoe in that thing and ease his way into a fight. Early on, if you strike him fast, you'll catch him. But the thing that I didn't know, the thing that we didn't know, he's not as strong mentally as we thought he was. He's not able to shake off that moment. The same way that, sorry, I got to bring it up, the same way that Earl wasn't able to shake off that moment. For 2 guys that ain't never been dropped before in the pros, I'm letting you know right now, when you go down and you are realizing that I'm down here and the crowd is doing what they're doing, there's a moment that happens to you and it will shake you up.
Well,
when I got caught with Errol, before that round happens, I'm saying to myself, I didn't say this out loud, but I'm saying I said, somebody got to get dropped. If this fight gonna end in a draw. And I knew that I had to catch him. So when he caught me, I'm gone. And because I'm so in such good shape, I'm able to recover so fast. I'm gone and I'm right back. And I'm realizing that I'm going down. I'm trying to catch myself. Can't catch myself. That's a different situation. That's not the embarrassment of getting caught. I'm down, coming back, recovering, and now I got to get up. The kid was just shook up. And I'm letting y'all know right now, on your way up, understand that the crowd don't matter. Understand that moment just happened and it don't matter no more.
It's past.
Only thing that matters is what I do now.
Right.
And he couldn't get past that moment, which is why it looked like he never really recovered. Yeah, his speed was there. The jab was there. But moments where he needed to take control and be effective, there's that moment that's still there with him.
Well,
It's a psychological thing.
You see it when he was trying to get in. Like, he would be very hesitant, and then sometimes that would result in him tripping over his feet. And then he just going to a grab instead of, like, creating space and letting shots go.
More stuff that we didn't know. I didn't know that the kid didn't really have.
But Haney, Bill, and Devin
offensive. Well, I'm just speaking on Norman. I didn't know that Norman didn't have techniques and strategies to get in. Techniques and strategies on being able to have the eye and awareness that if you come at me with a double jab, Dev did the same thing every time. Dip, clinch, wait for the break. Dip, clinch, wait for the break. When do you catch on to that rhythm? When do you catch? None of us knew that he didn't have the ability to catch on that kind of rhythm. And he just did not catch on to that rhythm for 12 whole rounds.
That's the experience, though. You got to really look at Dev's resume, bro. Like, Dev done fought some great dudes, like a lot of great guys, and at a young age, and bro. And then on top of that, he's learned from different coaches, like, all these, famous people and whatnot. So Devin has a lot of tools in his bag that a lot of people don't really give him credit for, you know what I'm saying? And he just really put it on display this weekend. I do feel like he could have done more, though. I feel like there could have been moments where he could have went for the stoppage if he would have been more aggressive, but you got to think about his mental and think about maybe he just wanted to just be safe. Because he did what he did, got the knockdown, the easy win, got the title.
That's the Floyd.
I'm not
mad at it.
And I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
There's a lot of people that's going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it. You fought a clean fight.
He looked good.
And at the end of the day, listen, man, at the end of the day, there is that separation between winning the fight and closing the show. Winning the fight and saying, I was here tonight. You know what I mean? I had a moment tonight is what he had. But I can't complain about it. He did everything that he needed to do. He completely stabilized his opponent. And his opponent had nothing for him.
Well, he got flack for doing the Mayweather quote, "You violate, I demonstrate." And then he literally did it. And to that point, that temperament that he learned from Floyd, that's what he was on. Is, hey, this fight's in the bag. The only chance you have is maybe me getting a little overzealous, even though I see what you see. Like, his positioning was so nice on Norman that you might have been able to stop him and not even have to worry about risk. Like you had him on a string so much.
For sure.
And to that point about Norman, I think Norman, it definitely is a dog. The beast got tamed in round 2. Yeah. And that invisible line and positioning we were talking about, you cross this line, here's the counter's perfectly lined up, and Norman knows that tamed him. That said, in 11 and 12, with Haney's foot off the gas a little bit, and Haney did a good job down the stretch in those clinches of punching in the clinch good, which Norman is supposed to do with his posts and his frames, they call it, and Devin beat him at that too down the stretch.
Let me also say this, because I see in the comments a lot of people saying like that I was wrong and all that kind of stuff. I said specifically, if the best version of Dev shows up, that Norman's corner, his dad is going to be telling him, you're going to have to pick it up, son. You're going to have to do more, son. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do... His dad literally told him that.
His dad, shout out to Brian Norman Sr. I definitely enjoyed him in the lead up to this fight. But his dad gave him bad advice heading into the second round. Norman won the first round and it was funny. Stephen Edwards, Breadman, he would be like, the puncher in a fight is not the guy who has more power. It's whoever is hurting the other guy more, that's the puncher. And it was weird. It was almost like, Brian, you might be better off. You got a good jab. And that was impressive to me and Haney in this fight. I know he did it with his feet and everything, and then his up jab was amazing. It looked like Larry Holmes at times. He would ping and then throw but Norman got a hell of a jab, I thought. He looked long, fast, sharp, and Devin just made him miss all of them. For the most part, outside of a few. But his dad, anyways, senior, goes in there. He goes, I told you, he has no power. He doesn't counterpunch. Take it to him. And it's like, but you won the first round doing, behind the jab, being a little patient. That wasn't good corner advice. And then down the stretch again, in 11 and 12, Norman was kind of content to just clinch. They were wrestling more than boxing in the last 2 rounds, but Haney did that to him. He took that away from him with his skills.
I mean, I feel like Devin just knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
It's just that experience, that level, you feel me? Right. You got to think who Devin been in the ring with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Lomachenko, you know what I'm saying? Cambosis,
Linares.
You know what I'm saying? Linares. Like he done, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but this was his first time doing that to someone with the same reach as him. And we knew all those guys were more, and especially Lomachenko, more experienced and decorated than Brian Norman. But this was a young guy with power and length. So maybe he could overcome the inexperience gap, the skills gap, because he has enough skill, maybe. And he's big and he's strong. Well, not big. He's strong and punches hard and got a good jab. And I think he showed a good jab. It's just Devin took it away from him.
I'll tell you another thing, too. Like, for Bill and Devin to understand, we're gonna force him to do something else. We're gonna take away that hook that he has. Yes. Every time he gets close to us, we're gonna clinch him. We're gonna force him to do something else. And then there was no answer beyond that. You know what I mean? So again, just paying the respect and and giving the credit where it's due in terms of being able to game plan. Like I said, we didn't know that he didn't have other offensive, maneuvers and techniques and things like that. Neither did they. And they said, well, we're going to force them to show us. If you have something else, show us. And they bet on that. And it worked out for him.
I heard Bomac when he was getting Terrence ready for Canelo fight. It was like, yeah, man, I know Canelo has all these strengths and whatnot, but we focus on the strengths. We don't focus on the weaknesses, because if we could take your strengths away, what else you got?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that is like, I started to look at my opponents that way after a while and study like that. I'm like, oh, your strength is your right hand. I'm going to take that away.
Right.
Then after that, what else do you have?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So, Devin and his team, they came up with a great game plan, and they executed it, to where it was but to be honest, I felt like Brian Norman, like, I saw some little things when it came to him dealing with people that move. Because when he fought Quentin Randall, he had a tough time fighting Quentin Randall, because Quentin was like more lengthy than he was and was kind of on the back foot. And then me seeing Brian Norman trying to get the shots he wanted, he would overreach. Yeah. He would like trip over his feet, and I was like, that is gonna be his downfall. And
I just assumed it was Quentin Randall. Quentin Randall was a lengthy, awkward guy.
They were rooting for Quentin at the fight.
Yeah.
No Tiger. I remember at the T-Mobile.
It's like, this not really lethargic, but just this like slower kind of rhythm that somehow he's like moving slow, but then he's on at the same time.
Yeah.
I think A lot of people out there were saying that Norman was going to end Haney's career. I hated every time I heard that. I was telling people, stop saying that he's going to end his career. He's not going to end his career. I said, Dev's still has something in the tank. I said, the best version of Devin shows up. Now Norman's going to have some big issues. And it just so happened that it went that way, you know. Funny enough, like I'm on record for saying that Devin didn't want this fight in the first place. I don't think that they did. I'm hearing that it was on record, that he was on the list, that Brian Norman was on the list. Can't imagine he was number 1 on the list, but ended up being a fight. I felt like this was the smoke and the mirrors effect when it was first announced, and we want this who we want. And I think that when it first started to happen, this isn't what they wanted first. Not to say we don't want this. This ain't just what we want first. We eventually want to get there, but we want to hype this thing up. We want to do this. We want to do that. And it ended up having to be the first fight for him. It's probably best that they got him now than they got him later.
That is true.
Yeah, I still I like Norman. Looking for, I mean, awesome dude to deal with, and then fun fighter to watch. My only concern for him long term, some of the skill stuff to an extent can be smoothed out and worked on.
For sure.
It's the chin. It's the punch resistance. And that's not to take away from Haney's power, because Haney's power looked good. And we always knew Haney was a welterweight in his youth, boiling, you know, when you can get away with it in your early to mid-20s, getting down to 35. But we always knew he was going to be a welterweight one day, and he looked good at it. But for Norman, that is an issue I worry about for him long term. Is you're a puncher. You're usually going to have to be the aggressor. In that kind of style, you got to be able to take a shot against others. So, but I like Brian Norman, and the best thing I can say about Devin Haney, to sum that up, is I have a vote on the International Boxing Hall of Fame. I think at 27 years old, 3 divisions, 6 world titles total, he's a Hall of Famer already at 27 years old.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I can say that. Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah. No, I'm not tripping, right?
No,
he did.
I mean, it's tripping that they let me have
He
a
did his
vote,
thing,
right?
though.